Hi grades 3, today is Monday. Today for our math we are looking at exercise 49 and it's just one page. Okay, so for this exercise you have to find the area of each of the following figures. So remember we've been working with area for the past couple of days. So area is basically how much space something takes, right? So for now, we have been looking at counting our squares, right? And area is, how do we find area? We multiply two things. We multiply our length and our width, right? And each of these squares is 1 centimeter on each side. So let's look at the first picture. Let's look at this solid picture and let's find the area. So we can do it two ways. Remember I told you how we can multiply our length and our width. So it would be counting on my length side. Sorry, on my width side, I have how many squares? I have 2 squares, right? So I'll write my 2 here so that it helps me remember that I am multiplying 2. Then I go ahead and count my length. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So my length is 4 and my width is 2. So I'm going to multiply 2 to 4. So let's say our 2 times table. So 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So let's go ahead and that means area equals 8 centimeter square. Now, let's go ahead and let's actually count our squares and see if it is 8, if the answer is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could have done it two ways, right? I could go ahead and count my squares, or I could just multiply my length and my width. Now, because this is a small figure, it doesn't have too many squares, right? So it was quicker for us to either count or multiply our area, our length and our width, right? We just did 2 times 4. We knew it gave us 8. Now imagine if we had to count all of the squares. Let's say this whole page was full of squares and we had to count the area, or we had to find out the area. Wouldn't it take us a long time to actually go ahead and count each and every single square? That's why the quicker way to find area is when we multiply our length and our width together. So I'll just write it down here for you so you will remember. We are multiplying our length and our width. So area equals length times width. And this gives us our area. So length multiplied by width equals area. Okay, so that's what we have to do. That's why we need to know how do we find the area, because we won't always have the time to count each and every single square to find out how much space it's taking. So therefore, length times width is how we find our area. Now let's go to our second figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at our 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 down and 4 across. So we have to multiply our length and our width. So let's go ahead and multiply. Let's say our 3 times table. So we need to multiply 3 and 4. 3 times 1 gives me 3. 3 times 2 gives me 6. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 3 times 4 gives me 12. So that means when I multiply 3 and 4, my area is 12 centimeter squared. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's actually count our squares and see if we actually got it right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have 12 centimeters squared. So the area of this figure is 12 centimeters squared. Now let's go ahead and let's look at this one. Now this one's a little strange, right? It's not even. So what we can do is we can either go ahead and we can do 1. So we know 1. So the width is 1 and the length would be 1, 2, 3. 1 times 3 gives me 3. Is that correct though? Because in this picture, we have one more over here, right? So our width is actually uneven. We have 1 over here and we have 2 squares over here, right? So therefore, we need to remember that actually we need to remember to add 2 extra squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all together, the area of this figure is not 3, but 5. Okay, so 5 centimeter squared. Okay, then go ahead and we're gonna do next one for this one as well, because it's uneven. We can again go ahead and we can actually count, or we can multiply and then remember to add the squares that were not added earlier. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so the area of this figure is 6 centimeter squared. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's look at this one. So again, because this is not even like these, we may have to do the adding at the end, right? Just like we did for this one. So let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the area of this figure is 9 centimeter squared. I'm gonna write it and I'll hold it up for you. Okay. Then let's do our last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the area of this figure is 8 centimeters squared. Okay, there we go. So this is our exercise for Monday. Tuesday is grade 3. I have sent home pipe cleaners, so we would need this for tomorrow's lesson. So make sure when you were starting your math lesson for tomorrow, make sure you have these with you. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow.